But this man I met, one of the key things that I had a chance to discuss with him was the impact on what we can do in this community. How can we bond our community even more? And he was part of the LGBTQ community, and he wanted to see a committee formed here at this agency. And we put it together. And he sat with members of our organizations to figure out ways to better bond this network inside this community. And he wanted to extend it out into the entire Broward County community. This was his vision. It was the vision of this entire committee. We have to keep pushing through this entire fight. I've been hearing a lot of different things throughout this community. We're starting to have little division amongst ourselves. We're fighting over and squabbling over times and curfews and whether or not we should go to work, should we go to the movies. This is nonsense. Over the next few hours, people are going to send us emails. People are going to express their sentiments and their support for us. If you truly support your first responders, then reduce our opportunities for having citizen contact. Because for every time we have to answer a call because someone's non-compliant, it puts our lives at risk. For every time that we have to answer a call for someone who decides that they're going to congregate and hang out at the beach, you're putting our lives at risk. Now we take on that responsibility knowing we're willing to fight the battle of the armed suspect. We're willing to run into a burning building and bring people out. We're willing to do all these things. We're still willing to serve. But this is a new enemy that we can't even see. But we know it's there, we know it's real, and it's impacting all of us. So we lose Shannon today, but we're gonna keep fighting this battle. We're not about to throw in any towel. And if you truly support us, then take heed to all the warnings that have been provided across this planet. With that, I'll take a few questions. Not specifically. He was on duty when he reported it. So as far as I'm concerned, this is an in-the-line duty death. He was serving this community, got ill, and contracted this virus. He was one, yes, of the 21 or so that we had yesterday. That's correct. I don't know how you quantify that. You know, I'm not a medical professional, but what I would tell you is I've called and talked to our staff and members who have been contracted this virus. Many of them are progressing, getting better, but we're still at this point where there's no real certainty as to what that recovery process looks like. We've had cases not just here in Broward County, but in other parts of the world where people have contracted this virus, exhibited signs, and been able to recover in a short period of time. And then we've seen some that extended beyond the 14, 15 days. So that's really unpredictable at this point. He was in hospital care. Well, look, I do know, but I'm not going to disclose every aspect of our agency. There's still some privacy elements that we need to respect for our employees. I think the messaging is simple. We have members who have contracted this virus. We have members who are in still quarantine or self-isolation, and that may fall into that category. We have test results that have not come back yet, and this is not inconsistent with anything that's occurring anywhere in this county in terms of first responders or anywhere else in this state or in the country for this matter. Is it fair to say, one more time for me? Most of them are self-isolated at home. Has his death made me think about any changes? You got to remember, this just happened last night. His death has reminded me that I just lost a man in the line of duty. We've put forth a lot of different protocols and things to safeguard our personnel and employees, but we've been examining that repeatedly as we get new information about how this virus is impacting not only the day-to-day operations in terms of, okay, we went through screening process that we had to introduce. We're mandating PPE gear to be worn and many others. So it hasn't changed anything for me from a thought process other than that, look, I lost a man in the line of duty and we're probably going to lose another. It's just uncertain right now. My message to them is simple, and being the first agency here in Broward County to lose someone in the line of duty of this, I have to speak across and outside of BSO. We can't afford to break. We can shake. We're human beings. We can hurt. It's okay. We can fear, but we can't succumb to our fears. We're in a very unique profession here. If we start to succumb to any fears related to this illness, it impacts our performance. It impacts our ability to safeguard this public. You know, just yesterday we were extracting and helping save 1,200 people. And at the end of that mission, Shannon died. The very end of that mission, he died. And so there's a direct nexus and a reminder that, hey, this can happen to any of us anytime, but it's no different than when we put on this uniform and walk into a mall and now we're involved in a shooting. Or when we do a traffic stop and now we're being struck and killed. These are severe and serious consequences of the job that we do. The difference is the nature of the threat that we're dealing with, because it can be 6 feet away from me this time, and I'll never see it coming. Anything else? All right, thank you all for coming.
This isn't yours, is it?
No, that's not mine.
Yes. Yeah, well, getting a lot of overtime.